Welcome to the quarterly product update of the first quarter of 2020. Thank you for attending. My name is Marco Torino.
I'm Niels Uiterwaal.
And today we'll cover about 3 months worth of projects from the past quarter, and we'll also look ahead for the next 3 months. We're trying a bit of a new format here, so if you got any feedback on that, feel free to let us know. Small heads up, there's a lot of content in this presentation, but we'll send the information afterwards, so you can easily browse through it afterwards at your own leisure if you like. For now, it takes about half an hour to cover 20 projects, so the speed is quite high. We've been working on our product vision for the last half year, and this is the end result of that. There's going to be a separate webinar that's going to focus on this subject specifically, which will be planned somewhere in March, likely. A date will be added in the communication afterwards. The product vision as it is driving an excellent service delivery around the workplace as a prerequisite for organization success. The intent behind it being that Topdesk is not just a tool that helps you collaborate, it also actually drives an excellent service delivery, making sure you get to do your work optimally.
So basically what we did is we set it up as five topics we're working on, and we'll go shortly through these to give a bit more insight on what we exactly mean by doing these things. Starting with that, there's foundations. What we want to do here is build a powerful set of ESM essentials so we can provide all the things you need within service and organization to give proper services. One of the other topics is collaboration. When you look at services, it's very important to collaborate not only between departments, but also across organizations. And that's something we want to enable with this topic. Next to that, excellent service is really based around customer centricity, and that's why we want to guide organizations towards customer-centric service delivery. The next topic is about self-reliance. What we want to achieve here is that you have a software that's only a means to an end. We want to make sure that our software helps you achieve the service excellence experience, and that's based on a low-code platform, self-service, and smart guidance, so you're able to set up your own software. Next to that is the ecosystem. That's basically stronger together. That's our tagline for that. And what we mean by that is that software does not exist on its own. You're always working together with different software packages, and that's what we want to achieve here. Topdesk won't be the only thing you have in your organization, so we want to work together with the things you already have.
But first, these themes we'll come back later, but first we want to address the state of the product. For the last couple of months, you might have noticed that Topdesk has not performing optimally in some cases. And we've been hard at work at fixing that and earning back trust in that regard. Some of the things that have happened are listed here. Our availability has been dropped very low, but is now recovered back to a reasonable state. We already had quite a lot of metrics on our functionalities, but they didn't reflect the real-world usage, so we introduced those, so we actually see how long an operator needs to wait for a car to load, for example. We've improved how we roll out our product, which includes a very short feedback loop to our development, so they know straight away when they might have introduced a mistake and they can correct it. And another example is that our asset imports, with for example 4,000 assets, if I'm not mistaken, takes about 5 minutes. They took about 5 minutes before, and now takes about 1. So a fast reduction in time there. But want to emphasize these are some nice examples, but some of you might still experience some poor behavior. So we aren't there yet, and this is priority number 1 for the coming months, to get back on a level that everybody accepts. Some more examples right here, the things that did happen in the past couple of months. There is now a maintenance notification, which you can see on the screenshot in the top. There's this really small orange bar there. It's a notification that Topdesk is about to shut down for maintenance purposes. So make sure you can save your work and not just be dropped out of Topdesk out of the blue. So the first topic we want to cover is foundations. 3 topics in there are workflow checklists, accessible SSP, and a mobile instance. First one here is workflow checklist. It's been a functionality for about a year now in labs. We want to make some changes in it. What we introduced is a new interface for the tasks that you create with the workflow checklist. Previously, they used partial incidents, which were available on a separate tab at some point. We started using those for workflow checklists, and we got quite a lot of feedback on it. What we'll do is we'll put the partial incidents where they were before, and tasks will replace those the checklist functionality. It's quite a basic interface, which is built for mobile from the ground up, which is nice for the future as well. And most importantly, based on the feedback we got, is that it's going to be available for first-line instance. So workflow checklists will no longer be limited to only second-line instance, but will be available for both of them. On the interface, on the screen, you can see how that interface will look, and it's fully integrated with Autodesk, of course. So it's also available on the to-do widget on the home page, for example. Then accessibility is a subject that's popping up more and more. Of course, service excellence, delivering your service is not about just the 95% who can see, who aren't deaf, who can walk, etc. There's quite a lot of people who have all sorts of obstacles when it comes to finding your services or making use of them. To remove one such obstacle, we want to approve our SSP and make it available to anybody. So we want to support end users who have various numbers of disabilities. And to do that, we want to comply to WCAG 2.1, which is also embedded in quite a lot of laws in different countries. Doing this project, we want to set an example for ourselves, but probably also to other organizations, how to make a very accessible environment.
Yeah, there's some questions about Topdesk Mobile. We have a lot of questions about what we can do on mobile, and we do know that there's a lot of things that still can be improved. So we decided to start from the ground up with a new solution. Recently, we actually released to SaaS, Topdesk SaaS, where you now can solve incidents on site, check, update, and close these incidents, and also take the pictures or add the attachments that are necessary to solve your incidents. The idea is that we will do this from the ground up and then start adding more functionality as we go. Things we have planned are change activities as well as operational activities, which will be added the next year. Nice to mention there is that we also have a webinar soon, so please feel free to check that out. So the next topic is collaboration. We did quite some work there in the last quarter. One thing that's probably going to make a lot of you happy is the changes on the Kanban board. We're also doing the next working day and in contract and SLA management, as well as the automatic ticket assignment. All these features will help you improve the collaboration across your server organizations. So first, the Kanban board changes. We have now changes as well as incidents in one overview, so you can work with your team in the same Kanban board, which will help you in becoming a more agile organization. It has been the most popular roadmap item, so it's very much appreciated by our customers, so we decided to pick this up and work on this. It's now available in labs, so it's only available for SaaS customers. As you can see in the pictures, you just have an overview with both your changes and your incidents.
Another popular request is the introduction of the next working day as a target date for a call. So what we introduced here is what typically happens if an incident comes in, let's say 12:15. Then if you have a service window of 24 hours or 8 working hours, it would be 12:15 the next day. That doesn't really reflect how the real world works often. Often a more natural way to express it is we'll finish this next working day. So that is exactly what we introduced. Now the target date will be set to the end of the next working day, so that the full day is available to resolve a ticket. Of course, it doesn't need to be one day, it can be multiple ones, but this is more of an example. Very popular tip request, which is now resolved, and yeah, you can see in the GIF how it works. And in this one, you can see how it's actually configured. If you get any questions about it, feel free to get to us and maybe involve a consultant if you need.
Another thing we use to improve collaboration is the automatic ticket assignment. We got a lot of requests from our customers that people are working together and need to evenly distribute the workload among their peers. And that's something we built with this. What it basically does is you have a bunch of tickets that need to be distributed, and that can now be done automatically by this feature. This will only be assigned to the operators that are available right now. Also on top of that, everything gets distributed evenly, so you can assign which operators are available and which are not, and then everyone gets their own tickets. So if you add an availability, it will start adding more tickets to that as well.
Another smart functionality we've introduced is incident affiliation. What it allows you to do is it allows you to find incidents that might be related to the one you're currently working on. The machine learning algorithm tries to find matches that match particular words, maybe time of day, or whatever else might match with the instance you're currently looking at. Those pop forward on the bottom right on a grid, and you yourself can then select which are actual matches, because of course the final say is in your hands. You can pick them up as a group and resolve them as a group, so no double work gets done, and knowledge of previous incidents gets reused and optimized. Next topic is customer centricity, with 3 topics in it: forms which now have an edit history, public forms, and chat improvements. For the first one, our existing forms have a history now which shows which sort of edits have been done and by whom. So it makes it easier to maybe refer to some of these changes or find out who made some changes you might disagree with.
Another thing we have introduced are public forms. Lots of times you want to not just help people within your organization but also outside, and these forms will help you with that. We have introduced a new editor that can be found within Topdesk Labs that allows you to create forms that will make an incident. These forms in turn can be published again on your website. Another thing we have worked on in the last quarter is the chat improvements. We noticed that this chat was not up to par to our standards, so we want to introduce some stability improvements as well as performance. Next to that, some research has been done on working towards different chat channels, meaning that you'll have different chat bubbles routing to different operator groups. This will probably be introduced in the running of 2020.
Our final block is the ecosystem. As Niels mentioned earlier, this is about all the things surrounding Topdesk, so all the software that gets added to our platform, making a more rounded search management case. To be able to do that, we also need some APIs to connect to Topdesk, right? So made 2 improvements on our APIs, which is this one first, the Instant API. The Instant API had a fields filter, which had some performance issues. So we've introduced a new fields filter that does not have those issues, with the old one being deprecated. The old one, even though it's deprecated, doesn't have an end date yet. So if you use it, you can continue to use it, but it is worthwhile to go over to a new one. For change mentions, more functionality has been introduced. For a full list of what has been added, you're better off going to the website for developers.topdesk.com. The meeting add-on has got some new functionalities. Primarily, it's no longer needed to log in when you want to see the meeting overview. It's already available now, so you should have seen that improvement if you use it. If you don't, go to the marketplace and check it out. A partner solution we've got introduced is the Office app, which has some functionalities we'll go through one by one. First one being that you can reserve a room using your mobile. What you can do here is find a room that's suitable to your needs. It pops up which are available, and you can reserve that room as you want it. Well, if you use this app, of course it gets synced back to Topdesk, but also to Outlook or other things you might use for your reservations. So everything is in sync with one another. It's already available in our marketplace. So again, if you're interested, feel free to go to the marketplace website and read about it. What else it can do? It can also help you find a room on the go. It's possible that you have you're walking around, you need a more spontaneous meeting, and it can also help you find a room more urgently. So what you can see here is that there's a floor plan which shows which rooms are available at that moment. You can click on that and book the room straight away. So it's a nice different use case compared to the previous one. And again, of course, it's synced to TopDesk. Finally, for the Office app, you can also report a maintenance request. What it does, it allows you to make a photo of something that requires maintenance. Machine learning will try to identify what it is, what's on the photo, and you can report that directly to TopDesk. So someone can pick it up and start fixing the maintenance issue. Another partner solution we have is the Outdoor Room Booker by Scope Formation. It's already been available for a while, but it has a new functionality. It now has support for recurring reservations, which means if you make something recurring either in TopDesk or in Outlook, the other party will be in sync with that. Not released yet, will be available in the first quarter. Another partner solution, Buildium Controls by Briva. What it allows you to do is report indoor climate issues by scanning a QR code that's available at that room or that environment. In this case, we are looking for pilot customers to explore if this solves the use cases you might run into. So if this sounds familiar to you, a problem you might have, then please get in contact so we can set something up and try to start exploring this solution.
There was a lot of information to cover, but we reached the end of the quarterly product update, so we'll be there next time again. Until then, there's a lot of information you can already find, which you can see in the current slide on your screen. No any closing notes. Thank you for your attending and hope to see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Het laatste bij was. Dan doen we makkelijk. Ja, dat viel mee.